SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.
State Treasurer David McRae is returning record amounts of money to Mississippians, whether it's through the College and Career Savings Program or the hundreds of millions in unclaimed money awaiting your claim. Treasurer David McRae says get your applications and claims in today. Treasury.ms.gov.
I'm Steve Azar, and I'm on the other side of the microphone, meaning I'm asking the questions this time, and oh, have mercy for the airwaves. I spent 20 years in Music City, wrote and made some hits, traveled the world, and then moved my family back to the birthplace of American music and where the magnolia trees prosper. And now every time I put my feet on Mississippi soil, when I'm off the road, well, I'm at peace. On this show, it's all about hearing the stories straight from the mouths of the friends I've made along the way, their journey to success. Heck, there might be someone on, I don't even know, but you know how us Mississippi types are. We tend to take well to new company. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them. I'm Steve Azar. It's just like that muddy river, moving slow. Ain't no worries, it's how life goes, baby. In a Mississippi Minute. That's right.
Hey folks, welcome to another In a Mississippi Minute. Grateful for you tuning in. Excited about today's guest. He's become a dear friend over a lot of years now. Someone I've always looked up to before I knew him. And once I got to know him, it was another level of looking up, I can tell you. Visit Mississippi.org. He knows a whole lot about that. He comes every year to our Delta Soul Celebrity Golf and Charity event, him and his wonderful wife, Rose. And they make a huge difference on the impact that they leave behind while we're raising funds for a lot of wonderful beneficiaries and name of arts for kids. And I love this man like he's family. We're honored to have him, a true legend on the diamond and beyond, a phenomenal switch hitter back in his day, versatile outfielder. In his major league days, he dazzled fans with his talent and determination throughout his illustrious career, spanning from 1966 to 1982. That is a long time on the playing field as a pro. He played for the Boston Red Sox, St. Louis Cardinals, and wound up at the Los Angeles Dodgers, where they forever held him in Los Angeles, earning him 7 All-Star selections and a World Series championship in '81 with the Dodgers. With a career batting average of about 290, 287 and a half, 290. I'm rounding it up. 314 home runs and over 1,000 RBIs. His impact on the game is undeniable. Not just a force at the plate, he was also renowned for his strong defensive skills and leadership on and off the field, which carries him to today. He served as an honorary coach recently for the National League All-Star team in 2021. The All-Star game there, he is widely regarded as one of the top players ever to put on a Boston Red Sox jersey. Being part of that history, he ranks in the top 50 greatest Boston Red Sox ever. He's doing wonders with helping the future generation of players advance to play college, the minors, and the major leagues. Please welcome in my dear pal, the wonderful Reggie Smith. Hello, Reggie.
Thank you. Good morning, Steve. How are you?
I'm good. You sound good. The last time we did not talk, because you showed me, was because you got sick. You look and sound good.
Well, yeah, it was after a trip coming back from Europe. I developed a cold, and I guess it was that new version of it. And so I was telling you earlier, it felt like I was hit by a couple of Mike Tyson punches. It knocked me down, and it got my attention, but I'm much better now, and I'm able to get back out to start doing the things that I love to do, and that's working with kids and players.
Speaking of kids and players, you know your dear friend Johnny McWright. He's probably going to be listening to this, so we got him smiling right now, or got him worried right now.
Good morning, Johnny.
He had a great run with Ole Miss. He was really happy watching that all go down. Were you paying attention at all to the NCAA championship run? With
a little bit of what I could, but certainly, Mississippi there, knowing that Johnny McWright and family and everybody would be paying attention to it, and I kind of felt a disappointment. That he did too. Yeah.
But our buddy Gino Toretta was happy.
Yeah.
You're stuck in the middle no matter how you slice it. Hey, so that brings me to NIL and everything. So you're obviously training kids who have a desire. Have you trained close to 30 major leaguers? Have you crossed the 30 number yet?
It's about that number. At that number, yes.
You're talking about kids that are growing up to go off play D1 college or D2 or whatever it is, and you're getting them prepared. You got a lot of very stingy rules that they have to live by, academics and all that we talked about. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the NIL and baseball, how has that affected the kids that you're working with now?
It's had a tremendous impact, because one of the things that I stress with my kids, as you noted, was they had to get good grades. And oftentimes mixing good grades, being good athletes and players, sometimes you don't have that, but you try to coach kids up enough that they can become good enough to hopefully realize their dream to use secondary education, going to college and playing a sport as a vehicle to get into those schools. So with what happened with COVID and kids gaining extra years that they lost during COVID, with the NIL and coaches that have the money and those that don't have the money to give to kids, it has had a tremendous effect, especially on high school kids. And even the whole trickle-down effect comes to, with Major League Baseball having contracted the minor leagues and are looking to really kind of rely more on colleges and university as minor league systems.
Wow, yeah.
You can see that contraction has caused lower levels, especially the high school kid, getting that opportunity to get into college, because coaches are getting fallbacks in the junior college levels, and the effect that it's having on the 4-year schools as well. So it's still a matter of, I still preach the same thing. If it's just your dream, don't give up on it. But more importantly, the one thing that they can never take away from you is your education.
Have you seen a player in particular? I love hearing that, by the way, the education part. I mean, now, at least that especially in baseball, you're tempted. A lot of great athletes who are multiple sport athletes are tempted to go straight into the minors because there's money attached. Well, there's money attached in college now. I can see the dynamic changing there and it being better in that regard. A little silver lining. Have you seen a player that you started with that we were like, and that worked so incredibly hard that literally passed everybody on the highway, and you go, wow. Have you ever been surprised by a player like that?
Steve, I'm not bragging, but one of the things that I like to pride myself on is being able to recognize that diamond in the rough. And at going into the pro level, I have not been surprised, but there were some kids that they were able to play on their high school teams and get into college, in small colleges, and do well both on the field and academically. There were some surprises there, but I would think that when you're talking about going to a D1 and going into pro ball, there are some things that I've been able to recognize in a kid, and that is not only how they move, and understand how they process information, whether they're logical or they're creative. And you find that the players that have the greatest opportunity and chance to play in the major leagues, and if you'll find that with musicians and the greatest, even some of the greatest baseball players, they're artistic. And those are the kids that I look at and say, hey, yeah, he has a chance to play. Again, how they process information, and they fit what I call my tool gauge, and that is everyone measured how fast you can run, how hard you can throw, how well you feel, and how well you can hit and hit for power, those things. But I add two more to that, and that is aptitude and attitude. Aptitude meaning how quickly and how you process information, and your attitude, how you go about receiving that. And I show them that if you take the word aptitude and you total it up, assigning a number in the alphabet 1A to Z 26. If you spell out aptitude, it will total up to 96. But if you total up attitude totals up to 100. So I'd say, well, your attitude can determine your altitude.
Wow, I love it. That's amazing. Let's take a quick break. The great Reggie Smith is my guest today. Got a bigger heart and soul than he's got talent. So go figure what that level is. That's way over 100. Visit Mississippi.org. Check it out. Plan a road trip. I'm Steve Azar.
Your soldier's finally coming home. Your soldier's finally coming home.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now. You know that nowadays, most people go online to look at a business before they spend their money. What if the online information about your business is incorrect, or even worse, not very flattering? If your online presence isn't great, you may be losing customers. STMM Digital's trusted and highly trained team is the answer. We're ready to work with you to help your business capitalize on the power of digital marketing. Call 601-991-2305 or go to stmmdigital.com to get started today.
Just hearing the word.
I have Reggie Smith on the line, one of the greatest Boston Red Sox to ever put on a uniform, one of the greatest Dodgers, one of the greatest, no matter where he parked his bat and that glove, he shined. He grew up in a time in baseball in the early days where if you saw the movie Green Book by Peter Farrelly, where, maybe it was pretty segregated in certain towns, right, Reggie? You had to live through that. Your attitude, the Reggie Smith that I got to know, which was a long time ago, obviously wasn't back then. How have you maintained a love for everyone like you do? And I know you're grateful and you're humble and you've been humbled, but you also got humbled in ways that no one should ever be, to have to go down that road. I don't understand those times. So you lived in them. And playing a professional sport and being cheered by everybody of every race, but then you had some things behind the scenes that had to have driven you a little crazy, or how'd you get over it?
Well, one of the things that I'd like to think that I eventually learned the teachings of my parents. They were Baptist, they were Christian, and they moved from the South and refused to let the hatred and the problems that they had to deal with caused them to teach hate. And so they moved from Shreveport, Louisiana to California after I was, 6 weeks old, I believe.
Oh, so you were a baby.
But anyway, growing up out in California, there was a lot that I wasn't exposed to as far as racism was concerned. But my first year going back east to play in a little town in Whitfield, Virginia, my parents had warned me that things were a little different there. And it was my first real experience with it. But over time, and experience it, I was angry and I wanted to fight back. But I met another ball player, and I'll never forget, it was Billy Harrell. And Billy told me, he says, Reg, all of the talent that you have and how much these people respect your ability, and you're going to play in the big leagues. If there's anything I could pass along to you, is just to remember this. Whatever the names they call you, you either will or will not become that based on how you feel about yourself and what they're saying. So in other words, he was saying, if they call you a name and you react to it and you believe that, then that's what you think about yourself. And I never, had it explained to me that way. but it did make a difference. And over the years, I found out, hey, it just so happens, it seemed like when I put that uniform on, we all were the same color and we fought for the same things. And that was the attitude that I took, that I wasn't going to let hate turn me into someone who I was not. Now, was I a fierce ball player on that field? Absolutely. But the one thing that I did learn, that when I took that uniform off and I went home, I was just a husband and I was a dad trying to provide the best that I possibly could for my family. So as the saying go, when you step through these doors, you lock everything up that happened outside of these clubhouse doors in your valuable box. So I did not bring home into the clubhouse, and I did not have it on the field. But when I left there, I didn't take the ball game on or anything that happened on that field to my home. And you still find out, it comes down to a matter of, I treat people like I want to be treated, and I will give them every opportunity to show me and reveal to me who they are.
You know what I love? The fact that you look at your whole life and your body of work and you go back that far. And I know it was a while back, but I love the fact that I take pride in this. So the Mississippi that I was raised in and the parents that raised me and the people around me were like me. And I obviously my parents had a big deal with that. And Johnny the Washington, who literally was raising me, she was at our house all the time, and she was putting up with me playing guitar and having to listen to that mess, and would take me to a Wednesday night under a tent, revival and church, and holding my hand. And she was one of my dearest mentors in life. And so we were surrounded by we just didn't see color. I mean, I hate to say that because it sounds wrong. It doesn't sound right for me to say that, but you got to realize my family came in the late 1800s, and they were pretty dark skinned. My grandparents and all that. And I think we've lost a little bit of the tan along the way, but it was, I think it was difficult for them, not like it was. You can't even compare the two, but the Italians, the Chinese, the Lebanese, the Jewish community, all converging down in the Mississippi Delta. And I think it allowed me the opportunity to just love everyone because we were all together. We were shopping together, going to church together, going to school together. Town was too small to, there was no separation of like the train tracks that separated you. My dad grew up on both sides of the tracks. So, and his friends, they were diverse in every way growing up. So I love that. But you love coming to Mississippi. You come here way too early and leave way too late, which is, I didn't mean that in a bad way. I mean in a good way. But do you think about looking back at your life and now your love for this place? And I know we're like family, but you've met people that you want to come see and you want to come fish in the lakes and you want to do your thing. Right. But would you ever imagine that you would feel this way about this place that's my home?
Well, fortunately, I had a teammate, George Scott, nicknamed Pete up there.
I played baseball with Dion, his son. He was my first baseman when I grew up.
And I remember when he was born, had talked about his hometown and all that went on in the South. And I had said maybe one day I would get there and come to visit. Again, it was at that point I said, I want to treat people like I want to be treated. Yeah. And I want to give them the opportunity to show me who they are. And again, I talked about some of the things I learned from my parents. Well, I'll never forget, my brother came on one time. He said, I hate these people. And he said, my dad, I said, what people are you talking about? He said, well, these white guys on it. He said, wait a minute, let me explain something to you. He says, I don't know if you're aware. He said, but your great grandfather was German Jew. So, it was like, and then I look at the different skin colors and shades in my family, on both sides. Mother was part Choctaw.
Choctaw, right. Shout out to Chief Cyrus Ben and my brother Matt. You met Matt and Chief, yeah.
So she says, how can you say that? You can't hate. And you read about hate in the Bible, and that's what. So I think about that, and then coming to Greenfield, and I see the smiles on the people's faces and how well we're treated. This is one of the first ventures or tournaments that when I got playing, I only play in two nowadays, that I want to come to. And from the first time that you offered to come, I was so excited. And it was Rose and I were really, truly hoping that we'd get invited back the next year.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding me?
Seriously. And every year that, we hope that we get invited back to come to Greenville and a fellowship and enjoy our time there and look at it. This is something we really and truly love doing. And
makes
so
me feel so good.
That, every year you keep extending the invitation.
Well, you're the first invite. Everybody knows it. I mean, no matter what anybody says, you and Rose are number one.
Well,
and that doesn't change. That will never change. We're so grateful for y'all. And I hope you always know that. I know we're running around all over the place. I love it when you come early so I can see you when we're out there having our grudge matches and stuff.
Well, that's how much I want to be there.
I know.
To come there and spend that, because we truly, truly love coming to Greenville and seeing our Delta Soul family.
I love it. We are family. Let's take a quick break with the great Reggie Smith. Visit Mississippi.org. Got a big old, it's almost got, it's for Klemp right now. If it was a human being listening to the love of Reggie Smith and our Mississippi. We'll be right back. I'm Steve Azar.
I don't jump the fences, no. I keep doing it right. I saw the light. Sun came up in the middle of the night. Been doing it wrong for so long. I sure ought to know what it finally feels like to be doing it right. I saw the light. Sun came up in the middle of the night. Been doing it wrong for so long. I sure ought to know what it finally feels like. I sure ought to know what it finally feels like. I sure ought to know what it finally feels like to be doing it right. I'm still trying to find my way. Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
From the Seabrook.
In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Love talking to this man. I feel better about myself. I feel more athletic, and I know that that's probably not possible. But even when I'm talking to the great Reggie Smith, I always think about, okay, my feet position. I got to make sure that everything is right where you can't push me down. A lot of things that he's taught me when I'm screwing up out there on the golf course. He's going, Steve, there's no way that stance could hold up. Show me your basketball stance. So anyway, visit Mississippi.org. Plan a road trip to our Mississippi Delta. You got the B.B. King Museum, the Jim Henson Museum, the Grammy Mississippi Museum, the Delta Blues Museum. In Greenwood, there's a wonderful museum right there. We have so many. At the Max Museum, you can whip on over in the Civil Rights Museum in Jackson and Meridian and Jackson, actually. A lot of things you come see. Reggie Smith is my guest today. Reggie, athletes, in your day, you played everything, right?
Yes.
Part of the deal, right? So you were coming out of one sport, took a minute to get back into the next one, and you were rolling sort of midway and toward the end. Then you have to start a new sport. How important is it, do you feel, to play multiple sports for your body to heal, first of all? Second of all, at what point do you tell an athlete, now it's time for you to lock and load on one sport for you to be able to compete?
Those sports, playing multiple sports, I think makes you a better athlete. It helps you to not only learn how to continue to interact with people, and because pretty much in all sports, the microcosms of life, you experience there, how to interact with people, how to trust your judgment, reacting. You learn about failure, you learn about success. The interchanging of the different sports, again, helps you to develop your athletic skills and understanding movement. Now, the key is learning when to rest. And during our times, you knew when those sports were going to be played, and the best athletes pretty much played all sports. They did all of the sports seasonally. Now, since they've added, particularly in baseball, travel teams where the kids are playing more year round, and the same thing with football. You have football camps that you go to. Their kids are being forced to kind of specialize a lot earlier than they used to. And in school sports, at the same time, the coaches are all fighting for the best athletes. For instance, so they make rules that, well, if you're not here for practice, you're not going to play, and then all of these things. So I tell kids to when they want to start to think about focusing on one sport, if you have that talent and that exceptional ability, to maybe start looking at it in your sophomore and junior year, because that's when colleges are starting to look at you and starting to recruit. That's when baseball, at that time, they were starting to look at athletes, and yes, they're fighting for those best athletes. And I was at a symposium and heard a women's basketball coach at a university here said they were looking at 14-year-old girls for softball and for their basketball teams to see and try to get verbal commitments to them, because that's how tough the competition had become at that time. So that's a little early for me, because I tell especially boys that your growth plates don't really start to close between the ages of 14 and 16. So you're not developed it. So you have to be careful how much you're playing, how hard you're trying to throw, all of these different things that they're going through now. But more importantly, focus on the things that are not only going to make you desirable on the field, but as competition increases and the numbers that are trying to get into college, make sure you got good grades, because if that's going to be a determining factor, you want to be one of those people that say, yeah, we can get him in. You see, so it's like I tell them on the field, if I have two players of equal ability and I can only keep one of you, I'm going to take the smartest player. Yeah. Because I can trust him when the game's on the line, the kid with the good aptitude. So if that same thing, if that coach that you're looking to play at the next level have two players that he's got to choose from, he's going to choose the one that he can get in. He can get into. So that's when I tell them, and like mainly sophomore years, if you want to start to focus in and pinpoint on one sport, that's the time to do it. But more importantly, just make sure that to play at the next levels, that you have good grades.
Okay, let's talk about good grades right now. Do you have like a number? If I recall, you had to keep a certain grade point to train with you.
3.0.
So you have a 3. I mean, you're not giving anybody much of a slack there. I mean, like that's a B average, right? B plus average.
Yes, the B. It's at least a B.
Yeah.
And I had a teacher a long time ago said the easiest way to get a B in a class that you're having trouble is go to the teacher and ask, can she give you a little extra time? Can she give you help, or can he give you help? See if they would spend time, be willing to come to class in the morning ahead of class, or stay after class. I need a little help. And that teacher is not going to let you fail. If it's a true teacher at that point to give you that time, because to me, a teacher should be graded on not only the number of successes that she had, but in the number of failures that come through, that the kids that need the help. And I do the same thing with my coaches here. Those kids that can play, you're going to impress me when you make that kid who's not as good better. And those are the people that I like having come into my academy, that have the good grades and may not be as good on the field physically, but I will teach them the things that they need to know to get better and not beat themselves. And that's why I feel that when my guys wanted to start the little travel team programs that we had, that was a prerequisite, that we weren't going to poach players. We were going to take players and make them better, and we're going to learn how to play and not beat ourselves.
A little poaching going on.
That to this day.
Yeah, a little poaching going on in the even in baseball with the portal.
Oh yeah, yeah. Right. Well, once that opened up, and you included the NIL in that, and that was to be expected.
How much money is in baseball in the portal? Have you paid attention to that, Reggie, compared to football? You hear about it in football the most.
It's nowhere near as much, because unless you're at some of the big schools, the Texas schools, and some of the other big schools, LSU, they rely on alumni support and donors, that are willing to help out baseball programs, because they don't have the attendance, they don't draw the money that they do. More in what you find, like the programs that football has to support.
All the rest of them, right. It's amazing.
Like
there's just so much money, and amazing. Right. Not that many games compared to basketball and baseball, comparably. But the games they do have are so potent, and they pack so many people and pack a punch. Obviously, football still rules the roost. Let's take a quick break. The great Reggie Smith is on with me today. Him and his wife Rose are special. They're part of our family, and I'm grateful for that. He makes my life better every time I get to talk to him. I can promise you that. Visit Mississippi.org. Plan a road trip down here. Reggie's got some Choctaw in his blood. Go to Pearl River Resort. Chief Cyrus Ben, my brother Matt Perkins, and the team there will welcome you with open arms. I'm Steve Azar. We'll be right back. Let's play some Dancing Rabbit.
Let me home. $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
For a flipping good time.
Your soldier's finally coming home. you and the kids, the life I missed, to no more nights alone, no more. To my little boy's last baseball game, to my baby girl's first school day.
I got a short segment left with the great Reggie Smith. Visit Mississippi.org. There's no to that. Sorry for even putting it there. It's a special place in my mind, and it followed the blues trail markers. I always talk about you can go to over 200 plus great blues legends in our time, places that affected the world, period. And we actually left one in Liverpool. And that's not Liverpool, Mississippi, if you don't mind. It's Liverpool. Leaving a Beatles invasion blues marker over there and the impact it had on them. I mean, the Rolling Stones and Reggie named their band after a couple words out of Muddy Waters' song, Rolling Stones. So there you go. Reggie, let's talk about, I was looking at sort of the coaching carousel. Let's go NFL real quick. I don't notice it as much in baseball, and maybe it happens, but you had 10 vacancies this year in like a matter of no time. And you're talking about coaches like Harbaugh and Tomlin, who were fixtures, who won Super Bowls and never had losing records. They were like, and Tomlin, both never had a losing record. What has it become that you feel like there's something else better? Especially in this whole coaching carousel. I mean, like, how demanding has it become?
It has become demanding, but I have my own personal take on it, and I think it's related to the direction that sports has taken. Now, just kind of bear with me here.
I'm here.
In the past, owners that own these sports teams and franchises kind of treated them as hobbies. They were very wealthy people, and they treated the sport and the game as a hobby. Well, because of the amount of money that was starting to be made out of it, you started getting corporations buying teams. So they started treating baseball, and especially baseball and football, as a business. So then, therefore, they started bringing in these Wall Street guys, these Ivy League general managers that had economic degrees, and to treat the sport as a business. And so, therefore, in the process of doing that, they brought in analytics, algorithms, and everything. You saw it in baseball and what's happened there.
Like Moneyball and all that stuff.
That many of the general managers were not baseball people. They had to learn the game, but they understood numbers. They understood statistics and what they represented. And unfortunately, statistics only tells you what happened in the past. It doesn't really tell you what's going to happen in the future.
Interesting. Yeah.
But they look at over a period of time, these are the things that are supposed to happen. So by using the analytics and how they're evaluating players, I think the same thing has happened in football. You've gotten a lot of the coaches that you mentioned, they went by their gut. And unfortunately, the new people, the analysts, don't trust that because they can't quantify your gut. They can't quantify a feeling. They know that these numbers are saying these things are likely to happen. In baseball, what they did, they saw that if we do this during the course of a season, we should win this many games, and that number of games, whatever is 90 or plus, should get us into the playoffs. And that's where oftentimes could be the difference between being in the red and being in the black. So that's what everyone started to do, to try to at least make the playoffs that way and be competitive. And you started to see it happening in football. They were starting to rely on analytics. But these coaches that had played the game and had that instinctiveness about them and could measure the temper of the game, they knew their players. They understood how they reacted because they were there with them every day rather than just being a number. And I think that's what's happened. These guys, they still want to operate and manage game and control games the way that they did in the past, instead of having all of this analytic data forced on them to tell them, in this situation, you have to do this, and so forth. That's my own personal opinion. But when you look at some of the great coaches like the Harbaughs and the Tomlins and these guys that were let go, hey, they didn't have losing records. They may not have been winning Super Bowls, but there again,
Well, you can't win them all the time.
You can't, and it still comes from with the people that you select. And you got to remember, numbers don't play, people play.
That's exactly. I love that. Well, I think we've taken as much time as they're going to let me and you take today. And then they're going to say, thank God Steve had Reggie Smith on, because the show gets a lot better when that happens. I appreciate you so much. You're the absolute best, and I can't wait to see you in June if we don't see you sooner.
Well, see you, and I'm looking really forward to it, Steve. Thanks for having me.
All right. We love you, buddy.
Yeah.
Reggie Smith, folks.
Love you too.
The wonderful, wonderful Reggie Smith. Visit Mississippi.org. Plan you a Mississippi road trip. We'll see you later. I'm Steve Azar.
I'm Steve Azar. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them, where you can take your sweet time.
A SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.